Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, so you won't miss any of our content. Hello, it is good to have you here. Without a doubt, being a police officer is not an easy job, especially if you have to patrol in neighborhoods that can be extremely dangerous where even your own life could be at risk. However, for Tommy Norman this was no impediment to leaving his great mark of courage, respect, kindness and love in the communities in which he patrolled. I invite you to join me until the end to find out how he did it. Tommy Norman, a police officer from North Little Rock, Arkansas, has been described as a great blessing to many in the community he serves. The reason? Well, he made a big difference between other officers. And it is that Tommy began to patrol 18 years ago in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the USA. The large population of the place was a very low income, which was surrounded by hallucinogens, crime, among others. However, for Tommy none of this worried him when he had to patrol, since he believed faithfully in the goodness of every citizen who lived there. Of course, it was difficult at the beginning, because everyone rejected him and fled the place as soon as they saw a patrol approaching. In addition to this, the bad responses and faces they made him when he wanted to start a conversation with someone made him feel a bit uncomfortable, but still, he never gave up. One day a couple of children came out terrified when they saw him, but he managed to catch up with them and asked them why they were doing it. Why did they reject the officers so much? And the answer he got is that they all used to treat them badly, they humiliated them, they criticized, or pretended to take them into command for a couple of hours for the simple fact of being poor and African American. Hearing this he began to understand a little more. So Tommy with a smile and some snacks told them that he would never be like that with him, that he only wanted to protect the community and help them emerge. That is why if they needed help one day, or just a plate of food, they would look for it. And that was how the smallest of the community began to come to him in the event of any eventuality, and they trusted him. However, the rest of the adult community continued to reject his presence. Until one day he ran into Williams, a young man who was robbing a store near the place. When Tommy apprehended him in a civilized manner and took him to his patrol, he began to talk to him, asked him the reason for his thefts, and when he heard his whole story that he had a great debt to the state and could not find any work, he decided to help him. Tommy wrote a letter to the state about the Williams case, as well as collecting for his bond and the money he owed. He managed to carry out campaigns to help Williams financially for his studies and also to get him a job. Williams managed to start his studies and got a good job thanks to Tommy, and this not only made him cry, but he also trusted the officer and helped him so that the rest of his gang did the same. On top of all of this, on July 9th, rapper The Game took some time to post on Instagram about the conversation he had with his 13-year-old son, Harlem, about good cops and bad cops. The Harlem investigation led to publishing articles about Norman and his active, entertaining and enjoyable involvement in the community. The rapper and his son, upon learning of everything this man has accomplished in 18 years, and decided to create a GoFundMe page in an effort to raise money to help Tommy and his mission to continue fostering positive interactions between law enforcement and communities through those that serve. Every police interaction does not have to be negative, and Officer Norman is changing that person at the same time, the page says. It has changed the way you approach the community you patrol, and you are committed to building strong relationships with residents. We will purchase and deliver items such as snacks, drinks and toys to keep your trunk stocked for children and community members, Harlem said. Norman took the time to thank Harlem and rapper The Game for starting the page and acknowledging their mission. Without a doubt, this officer has left a great positive mark on the world, so there is no better ending to this story than his own words of inspiration. If you could just take 2 minutes out of the day to get out there and make a difference, whether it's checking on your neighbor if he's older, mowing someone's lawn, or opening the door for someone. It's really an act of kindness, and I think acts of goodness that comes from a police officer means a lot more to people because that's not something you're used to seeing. Officer Tommy Norman. Now tell me, what did you think of this inspiring story? Leave us your comment.